everyone to do is head into that comment box you see and type in what is one thing that you have done to take care of your own mental health this month. It could be a small thing like making sure you got a little extra sleep. It could be a big thing like starting therapy for the first time. Whatever it looks like, go ahead and throw that in the comment box. And Kevin, of course, we all want to know, what are some things that you've done to take care of your mental health this month?
Well, I'll tell you what, I've had some triggers this past month, just having it be, a little bit stressful, finally, at the end of this crazy year that we've had these last 12, 13, 14 months. So for me, being super proactive with seeing my therapist. And in the past, I would have let fester, I would have let things, have a little bit more lag time before seeing my therapist. But I've been super proactive with reaching out to him, either seeing him in person, text message like, hey, I'm not feeling right now. So he actually acknowledged that, what are your triggers, what do you want to work on, what do you want to, where do you see yourself, especially after this season. I said, man, I really want more family time or friend time, especially with people I haven't been able to physically touch or physically see. So like I mentioned, coming out of this, being able to actually see people and have a physical presence around them and be able to hug my family and friends, that physical touch means so much. And to me, I feel like I need that right now. And then allowing myself a little bit of just, I guess, a day off, a scheduled day off, because it's just, we're constantly traveling. We're constantly on the road. We're constantly putting stress on our bodies, having late nights, having to catch up on sleep. And everyone is different. So it's really whatever brings you joy, whatever restores your body and mind. That's what I'm, grateful for, that I can, call my therapist, and those are things that we can work on. But those are things that I'm looking forward to restore my mental health and therefore my physical health as well. Because being an athlete, you need to do both.
Yeah, it's really tied. And Kevin, I so appreciate you talking about therapy and especially about the idea that you're learning to tune into therapy and your needs for therapy earlier and earlier. This idea that we don't need to wait until we hit a crisis to start doing this work is really powerful. And I think it actually tags nicely to this big, exciting, special announcement that we're making today. I'm going to kick it off and I'm going to throw it to Kevin. So I'm Dr. Emily Anhalt. I am the co-founder and chief clinical officer of COA. COA is a gym for mental health. And we are working to make working on your mental health as proactive and ongoing a practice as working on our physical health is. And we do this through being a gym for your mind. And we have therapy matchmaking, and we have these amazing emotional fitness classes. We have recently partnered with Kevin Love and the Kevin Love Fund. And what we're so excited to share is that the Kevin Love Fund has decided to sponsor 1,000 people to take one of our emotional fitness classes for free. And to apply for one of those spots, you all can head to joincoa.com/1000, joincoa.com/1000, and you can apply to get one of those spots. So Kevin, I'm sure everyone's wondering, what made you decide to do this, to sponsor these 1,000 classes at COA?
Well, I think you just said it, Dr. Emily, is that I really love it and love COA because it's just such a proactive approach to your mental health and your mental fitness. So for me, I just feel like it's such a great place to start. If someone doesn't know where to start, or they're looking for something that they seemingly can't find when it comes to their mental well-being, this is it. And I truly believe that. And when you take a step back, and for me personally, aligning with COA, with the Kevin Love Fund, I mean, it's all rooted in community. I know for a fact that is what allowed me to really share my story and further my story after the fact, was when I realized, wow, this is so much bigger than me. And there's so many people struggling out here and willing to share their stories with me. That was really important, because I'm in such a hyper masculine, sport and industry, that I felt I couldn't share that, at such a exposed and high level, because there are so many people that follow basketball. There's so many people around the world. It's such a global game. So I feel like the fact that it's rooted in community, it's, the therapist matchmaking for me was huge, because it's not such a one size fits all, and everybody's different. So you find somebody that you can really vibe with, somebody that, has potentially gone through the same struggles as you, that understands you. I think that is so massive. And then overall just making it affordable. I think there's so many things out there that people can't attain or feel like they can't afford, and that allows them and makes them feel like they can put it off for longer. So allowing it to be and making it affordable for the masses is so key. And just the synergy with the Kevin Love Fund and what you guys are doing at COA, I should say what we're doing at COA now is just really special. And I know this thing will continue to grow in a special way. So those 1,000 people with those emotional fitness classes, I just think it's going to make a huge impact. So very, very excited.
Well, you're definitely part of the coalition now, Kevin.
That's
And
right.
we are so grateful for all you're doing to support 1,000 people in your community with taking these classes. So again, if you want to apply for one of these spots, these classes are experiential, they're live, they're rooted in community. It's going to teach you actionable ways to do an emotional push-up. Like, what is an emotional push-up? We figured it out. Come learn these classes. You can apply again at joincoa.com/1000. And since we have you here, Kevin, I figured maybe we support the community in a small way right now by sharing some tips for managing anxiety after what's been a really intense year. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. I figure I'm going to share a couple of my own tips as a psychologist, and then I'd really love to know what your tips are, Kevin, because I know you've done a lot of work to figure out how to manage your own feelings of anxiety. So I'm going to share a few on my end. The first one is I just want to say everyone needs to have some self-compassion right now. It makes sense that we're anxious. So much of the future is unknown and has been unknown for a while. And we have anxiety to try to prep for the unknown. What we have to keep an eye on is our anxiety not actually helping us anymore? Is it getting in our way? And when we find that that's the case, one of the things that I recommend is really powerful is something called scheduling a worry hour. This looks like putting a little bit of time on your calendar, a half hour, an hour, maybe it's every week, maybe it's once a month. And during this time, you get to worry as much as you want about whatever you want. Ruminate, go over things over and over, freak out, whatever you need to do. But then the rest of the time, when you find yourself worrying, you can tell yourself, no, this is 6 o'clock me's problem. She'll worry about it. Right now, I'm just going to focus on what I need to do right now. And that really gives you a contained space. The other thing that I recommend is, sounds like a simple concept, but I go back to this a lot, is the idea of learning how to trust our future selves. It's the idea that whatever you're worrying about, whatever might or might not happen in the future, the version of you that is going to figure out how to handle it will be born into existence in that moment. And that version of you will have more information and more experience and more time and more wisdom to figure out what to do. So all you need to do right now is figure out how to handle the present moment. So that's been really powerful to me. Trust my future self. My future self's a badass. She's got it. And then finally, a reminder, anxiety tools. When things are mostly okay, that's the best time. So if things are feeling all right in your life, now's a great time to start therapy, to start a meditation practice, to start exercising. And that way you're really going to build up that resilience for when times get tough. So those are a few suggestions from me, but I know everyone really wants to hear from you, Kevin. What are some of the things you do to manage your anxious feelings?
Well, I would say first and foremost, I've really gotten better at it since I've taken this journey the last 3 years, and just prioritizing my mental health, and that's practicing gratitude. I didn't know what that meant until I really started journaling, started writing things down, and started working with my therapist. And that can mean so many things. It can be writing down the little joys in your life, the things that move the needle for you. It can be big or small. It can be, something as easy as words of affirmation to somebody that you love, and just being thankful for the people around you, thankful for those small wins. Another thing for me would be exercise, because for me that kind of checks multiple boxes for me. It alleviates stress, it alleviates anxiety, but also kind of, I talk about moving that needle. It does for my basketball as well in my career. And then I would say, it's in my blood to be outside. I grew up in the Pacific Northwest around, pine trees and Douglas fir trees, and just being, really beautiful green grass. And, I'm an hour from, the Pacific coast. I'm an hour from, Mount Hood and Mount Bachelor in the mountains. So I have a beautiful landscapes and nature all around me. So grounding myself is another big thing that I do. So those are three things that I personally do to alleviate anxiety, and that are very personal to me. But again, it's going to change from person to person. So you have to find what really brings you joy and allows for that, just escape within your life to just be mentally and physically freeing.
That makes so much sense. And I agree, mental health is not one size fits all. But I got to tell you, the three things you just named, gratitude, exercise, and nature, are without a doubt
Yeah.
extremely proven to be
Yeah.
helpful with mental health for everyone. And so I'm actually going to turn it back to our audience again. Would everyone throw a comment in right now committing to doing one of those three things this week? Practicing gratitude, getting out there and moving your body, or getting into nature. Which one of those things feels possible to do this week? Let's put a comment in there. That's what keeps us accountable. Kevin, I'm curious, which of those three do you think you're going to be focusing on a little extra this week?
I would say, it's already built in that I'm going to be exercising, so I have to get myself out of that. But I think getting outside, definitely. We are in Washington D.C. now, so being able to be outside in a beautiful place. We're right here in Georgetown, so being able to see a little bit of the site, see the history here, one of the oldest, institutions and schools in the entire country, and just beautiful scenery all around. So, the Capitol is a special place, and then we head to Brooklyn. So, New York City and the boroughs are always a special place, one of the greatest cities in the world. So that's a really easy thing to do is step outside and just, in a walking city, just kind of lose yourself.
Amazing. Well, I'm going to practice one of those things right now, which is gratitude. I'm grateful for you, the way that you use your platform to support other people. I'm watching comments just fly by, and I see how powerful it is when we see people that we admire talk about their own mental health journey. So gratitude for you and also for this entire community, everyone in here who's thinking about how to work on their own mental and emotional fitness. So that brings us back to where we started. I just want to share that announcement again in case you missed it. The Kevin Love Fund is sponsoring 1,000 people to take one of our mental health gym classes for free and to apply for one of those spots. And I would do it soon because we are filling up. Go to joincoa.com/1000. All of our classes are led by therapists. They're created by therapists. It's a way to do a bit of an emotional workout and you'll be with community. Really powerful thing. So before we head out, I'd just love to know, Kevin, what are a couple of things you're looking forward to as we are heading toward the second half of this Mental Health Awareness Month? What are you excited about?
I think for me personally, it's always sad when a basketball season comes to an end, but it's kind of closing one chapter and opening another. So understand how I can get better. I think that's the beauty not only of basketball but of life. Every day you get to wake up and make a choice, and what this month is all about. So not only taking care of myself, but therefore taking care of others, and that leads me into saying again, like, I cannot wait to see the people that I haven't seen maybe in over a year or, several months. So family and friends, actually being able to be with them in a physical space, being able to share time with them. And again, that gratitude is going to come pouring out of me, I know, because I feel like we're going to have a little bit of lost time, even though I'm so thankful for, these Zooms and these IGTVs and IG Lives. But, this is just a little different than maybe a FaceTime would be, actually sitting with my friends and my family in person and just having a meal, watching a TV show, going on a long walk, getting out in nature, whatever it may be. Just, I think that this time reflecting back has taught us just how precious those moments are and how fast fleeting that life can be, and just taking advantage of the time. So that's really what I'm most excited about for this month personally. But then again, like I said, just continuing to pay it forward with things like COA and, giving away these, free emotional fitness classes, and hoping people that, haven't taken that first step, that this will be a great starting point for them. And those that have worked on themselves, that this will continue to further their journey in a major way.
Amazing. Well, I know what I'm looking forward to and what COA is looking forward to is a world where working on your mental and emotional health is just as expected and common as working on your physical health, where people saying, oh, I have to go to therapy is the same as saying, oh, I'm going to go for a run. And we're working toward that today. If you are ready to take one small step toward your own mental and emotional fitness, apply for one of these spots, joincoa.com/1000. Want to thank Kevin and the Kevin Love Fund again so much. And we hope to see you all in one of these classes. And Kevin, one of the things we like to do at the beginning and end of our classes is share one word to describe how we're feeling. So before we end for today, I'm curious, what is one word to describe how you're feeling right now?
Well, last time we were on the call, I said activated, And I guess something that has just continued to register is just grateful, just how grateful I am for you, everybody that joined, this IG Live, but also just those around me. I think, the past month or two and moving forward, just connecting the dots, looking back and looking forward a little bit while also trying to stay present. I'm just grateful for so many things in my life, when it's good or it's bad, just trying to find that balance and just being grateful for so many things.
Amazing. I love that. I'm feeling very grateful too. And I'm just feeling inspired by the way in which it feels like the world is really ready to start incorporating this kind of practice into our daily life. So thanks for all you're doing. Thanks for stopping in with us today, Kevin. We are so excited to see many of you in class sometime